Hello, welcome back. My name is Kathleen Cherry. I am an author with Orca Book Publishers, and I am going to read to you the next chapter in my book, Everyday Hero. So, Chapter 7. Chapter 7. The next time I saw Megan was at recess 2 days later. She was sitting at her locker. Her bruise was no longer a reddish purple, but now looked a yellowish greenish purple. Was it closed? I asked, sitting beside her. Huh? The door you walked into, I asked, because on the bus she'd said she'd walked into a door. Sure, she said, but your nose isn't bruised. So? I wondered how she could walk into a closed door without hurting her nose. Perhaps the door was open. Or she walked into the door sideways. Was it a little open, I asked. Huh? Was the door a little open, or maybe you were on an angle, or... Shut up already! Megan spoke loudly. Her brows had drawn together like the angry face on the feelings chart my teacher at my old school gave me. Are you mad at me? Duh. Are you going to hit me? I asked, because she had hit Darren when she was mad at him. No, I don't hit. You hit Darren? Geez, let it go already. I said nothing because I did not know what I should let go, as I was not actually holding anything. I looked at my hands, which were empty. Sometimes it's better not to know all the answers. She stood. Crumbs fell to the ground. I watched as she turned and walked away, the rhinestone skull bright on her leather jacket. I tried to count her footsteps, but they were muffled by other footsteps, the din of talking and laughter and lockers clanging. Personally, I do not think it is ever better not to know answers. I like answers. I like to know that 2 + 2 = 4. Answers are like rules, the safety rails on the balcony. I tried to think of a situation when it would be better not to know the answers, but this made me feel like I did in Hawaii when the sand had shifted under my feet. I started to rock. I counted those lockers opposite. 1, 2, 3. She's talking to herself again, a girl said. That is so weird. The guy next to her looked down at me, then turned away to open his locker, finding the combination with a tick, tick, tick. Probably schizo. Schizo stands for schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, a mental disorder characterized by a breakdown in thought processes and often featuring auditory hallucination and bizarre delusions. I am not schizophrenic, I said, standing. She talks, the girl laughed. Well, you're weird enough. Maybe they just haven't figured it out yet, the guy next to me said. Another girl spoke up. Hey, don't bug her. Her voice had a nasal twang. We don't want that wacko Megan fighting us. She's butch. Megan is my friend, I said. Nothing to boast about. I had a cousin who was schizo, the boy added, grabbing a blue binder from his locker. What happened? Locked her away. Good thing, the girl said. They should do that more often, my mom says. She says that crazy people turn into drug addicts and become homeless. He slammed the locker shut. That Megan should be locked away. She's freaky, the guy added. Which is when I hit him. It was not an effective hit. He did not fall to the floor or even stumble. He stepped back, putting his hand to his jaw, which had fallen open. What was that for? He asked. I don't let people call my friends names, I said, before hurrying away to the quiet of my favorite stairwell. I pressed myself into the corner. I like corners. Unfortunately, a kid sitting in a corner is noticeable. The principal came. I didn't look up, but focused instead on his brown leather shoes and his pants, which were a thin beige fabric and should have been hemmed because they trailed on the floor. Alice, heard there was some pushing and shoving earlier, he said. I did not push or shove, I explained. I hit someone, but I do not know his name. This is a hands-off school, the principal said. I nodded. This means we are not allowed to push or hit or shove. It does not mean we have to remove our hands from our wrists. We'll have to phone your dad, he said. You'd better come to the office. I got up, following him away from the stairs and down the linoleum hallway. He asked me to sit in the small room beside the office. I think it was also called a medical room. It had a bed and bandages. Shafts of sunlight filtered through the blinds, turning the dust motes into dancing flecks. I could hear phones and talking and occasional laughter. Then the bell rang. The principal had not asked me to stay for detention, so I got up because the bell means it is time to leave the school. I went to the bus stop and took the after-school special. Megan was not on the bus. There were no seats, so I stood holding on to the metal pole and catching whiffs of hairspray and sweat. I heard Dad's voice as soon as I came to the door. He was speaking loudly, almost yelling. Of course she's fine. You lot are all the same. You want cookie-cutter kids. You don't want anyone in the slightest bit different. I closed the outside door and bent to take off my shoes, sitting on the first of the 3 steps that lead to the main floor. I figured Dad must be on the phone because I couldn't hear any other voices. No, she does not need a special program, he said in the extra loud voice. Don't you have some more important things to do? No, she hasn't had an assessment. She's doing great. She even has a friend. She doesn't need one of your labels. Then he swore, and I heard the bang as he hung up the phone. Swearing is against the rules, I said, climbing the stairs. What the? I didn't know you were home. His voice sounded like he'd been running and his face was flushed. I am home, I said. What did you hear? I heard you swear, which is against the rules. Yeah, right. Sorry, he said. I nodded because I knew that sometimes people break the rules and then they are sorry afterwards. I'm going to make a sandwich, I said. Right. I went into the kitchen and pulled out the loaf of bread and jam and the peanut butter. Anything happened today? Dad asked. A lot of things had happened, of course. Billions of things to billions of people, so I stayed silent because I didn't know what to say. How were your classes? Dad asked. Math and English were the same as usual. I didn't go to socials or gym. Any reason? I hit a guy. So I heard. I thought you were done with hitting. Did the guy bully you or something? I don't let people call my friends names, I said. Friends? Dad's eyebrows pulled together. Is this about that, Megan? I shrugged. I do not like questions. I took out 2 slices of bread, spread them with peanut butter, and then reached for the jam. Dad still stood in the kitchen. He walked to the window and then back, pushing his fingers through his hair. I will watch Phineas and Ferb. Right, good, Dad said. Alice? Yes? Nothing. Dad sighed. Look, I'm just going to the gym for a while. Maybe we can talk about this later. It was Dad's day off. Sometimes he likes to go to the gym on his days off. I don't like gyms. They smell, I said. 57 minutes later, I heard the knock. At first, I thought Dad had forgotten his key. I opened the door. Megan entered. This was unusual. Megan visits in the afternoon, but never in the evening. She flung down a full backpack with a heavy clunk. This was also unusual. Megan's backpack is usually empty. Megan seldom does homework. Would you like potato chips? I asked. Dad had said I should be hospitable, so now I always offered plain chips whenever Megan visited. I don't like the smell of Doritos, cheesies, French onion chips, or nachos. I need a favor. Favor. A gracious, friendly, or obliging act that is freely granted. My father said I should offer a snack when you come over. I have plain chips. I don't like the smell of Doritos, cheesies, French onion chips, or nachos. Forget the snack. Her voice was loud. We weren't watching a hockey game and there wasn't an emergency. You have to help me. Megan shoved her hand through her black hair. She had a cut on her forehead. If my mom's boyfriend phones, you have to say we're having a sleepover. I took a step backward, up the first of the 3 stairs that lead to the first floor. I did this because I am not comfortable with any change of routine. As well, Megan's boots were wet and I could smell damp leather and foot odor. Tonight? But I asked Dad about Friday. Today is Wednesday. It doesn't matter. I'm not staying here. I'm going to Vancouver. Why? Visiting a friend, she said. You have a friend in Vancouver? I asked. Yeah. Did you live in Vancouver? I asked. No. How did you make a friend in Vancouver if you did not live in Vancouver? Online, okay? Just tell my stepdad I'm sleeping here. Did you give any identifying information online? I asked. Remembering Dad's rules. I like rules. They are the railings on the balcony. Huh? Identifying information means your name and address, not your dental records. What? Look, just say I'm here, okay? Megan's hands balled into fists. She wore black nail polish. Her right wrist was red and swollen. Probably no one's going to phone anyway. You said your stepfather might. Alice, please, all you have to do is say I'm here. The smell of her boots was strong. I went up the 3 steps into the kitchen. Megan followed. I opened a bag of plain chips and emptied them into a bowl. They were plain chips because I do not like the smell of Doritos, cheesies, French onion chips, or nachos, or spicy sweet, another flavor. I put the bowl on the coffee table in the living room. Megan stood in front of the mantel. She didn't sit on the couch or eat the chips. Alice, friends help each other. Megan reached out as if to touch me, but then she stopped. Please, Alice, I don't think he'll call, but sometimes just stall him until the bus has gone. Stall means a stable for an animal. My hands got sweaty. Then I remembered that stall also means delay or engine failure. I do not like words with multiple meanings. I started to sway. Megan swore. There wasn't a hockey game or an emergency. I don't like it when people swear it is against the rules. I don't like it when people break the rules. I don't like things that are unusual. I don't like foot odor. I counted the tiles around the fireplace. 1, 2, 3. Why would I even expect you to help? You can't even help yourself. You live in a dream world. You actually believe your mum's coming back. 13, 14, 15. She's not, you know. She's left you and your dad gonzo. 16, 17, 18. She's gone, you know, not coming back. Gone, no longer present, departed. My mother is in Vancouver, I said. And you think she's coming back? She's not. Maybe she and your dad had a fight. They don't fight, or not often. Then I remembered how Dad had said on the phone that he wanted Mom to look after her parents and to let him look after me. Except they did on the phone. That would be it then, she said. Adults always lie. My mom lies. Her psycho boyfriend lies. Megan paced across the beige carpet in our living room, which measures 10 feet by 10 feet. Her feet made a rhythmic pad, pad, pad. I did not know what psycho boyfriend meant. I picked up the dictionary. What the hell are you doing now? I'm looking up psycho, I said. She started to laugh. People laugh when they find something funny. I was glad Megan was laughing. It was better than swearing, which is against the rules. Then she stopped laughing and ran from the room. I heard her footsteps race down the steps and out the front door. The door banged shut. Thank you so much for joining me for Chapter 7, and please join me again for the next chapter.